Hall H goes dark. Ryan Gosling walks out as Marvel's new Ghost Rider, and the crowd thinks it's a surprise. Then he says, "This is a character I've wanted to play for a long time. 4 years of public campaigning, a deal born on a Star Wars set, a Nicolas Cage legacy no one's cracked." This wasn't a surprise. How Gosling got this role tells you everything about Marvel's next move. On Saturday, July 26, 2026, San Diego Comic-Con's Hall H transformed. The stage lights shifted, illuminating dark metal arches bathed in a dark orange-red glow. As a flaming chain graphic swept across the massive screens, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige walked out to address the crowd. He told the audience that they were there to talk about movies, before asking when Ghost Rider and Ryan would join the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Feige then personally escorted Ryan Gosling onto the stage. The room erupted into a standing ovation, chanting the actor's name as he stood in the glow of simulated flames. Behind them, the newly designed Ghost Rider logo flashed across the screens, paired with a bold metallic graphic displaying a 2028 release date. This was not a standard casting update leaked to trade publications on a quiet afternoon. Marvel staged this reveal as a major franchise turning point, positioning Gosling's Johnny Blaze as a cornerstone of its upcoming theatrical slate. The sheer scale of the presentation, from the synchronized lighting to the tight security measures surrounding the secret casting, showed that Marvel was treating this anti-hero as a premium property. The crowd's reaction validated the spectacle, showing that the character was ready for a major return. On July 12, 2022, Ryan Gosling sat down with MTV's Josh Horowitz and did something major Hollywood stars rarely do. He did not play coy, and he did not wait for a studio invitation. Instead, he directly announced that his absolute dream role was the flaming motorcycle anti-hero, Ghost Rider. In an industry where casting negotiations are heavily guarded corporate secrets, Gosling chose to say the quiet part out loud. For decades, actors waited passively for Marvel to call. Gosling took a different path, using his public platform to openly campaign for Johnny Blaze. He initiated the pitch directly with Kevin Feige, bypassing the traditional, tightly controlled casting machinery. In the past, self-advocacy this bold was a massive gamble, but Gosling leaned into the internet's appetite for fan casting, letting the online buzz do the heavy lifting. When Gosling stood on the Hall H stage in 2026, his first remarks addressed this long-standing campaign. He looked out at the roaring crowd and delivered a line that reframed the entire announcement. "As you know, this is a character I've wanted to play for a long time." That single sentence changed how the world viewed the casting. This was the culmination of a years-long, highly public pursuit. By putting his desires out into the open back in 2022, Gosling achieved far more than landing a role. He spent 4 years actively engineering his own entrance into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, transforming a fan-favorite dream into franchise reality. His casting reads less like a sudden corporate surprise, and more like an ending he spent years carefully designing. The path from a viral interview to a greenlit film required a practical creative vehicle, which materialized on a completely different movie set. In November 2022, Lucasfilm announced that director Shawn Levy would helm Star Wars, Starfighter, scheduled for a May 2027 theatrical release. Levy recruited writer Jonathan Tropper to pen the script, a collaborator known for grounding high-concept premises in clear emotional stakes. When production on the sci-fi project began in 2025, Ryan Gosling was leading the cast, bringing the three men into daily contact. During production lulls on the Starfighter set in late 2025, Gosling and Levy spent their downtime discussing how to update the spirit of vengeance. Behind-the-scenes set photos published in September 2025 showed the pair huddled together, and Levy later confirmed in behind-the-scenes footage that these idle moments served as a brainstorming arena. They swapped ideas about character design, action sequences, and how to fit a supernatural biker into the modern Marvel Cinematic Universe. Tropper, who was also writing the Starfighter script, joined these informal meetings. His presence changed the dynamic of the project. Instead of focusing on CGI-heavy spectacle, the team prioritized Johnny Blaze's internal battle and search for redemption. This set-side collaboration turned a public wish into a concrete production package. When they finally approached Marvel Studios, Gosling was no longer campaigning alone. He arrived backed by a trusted creative team with a fully realized treatment, presenting Kevin Feige with a movie that was already halfway built. In 2007, Columbia Pictures brought Ghost Rider to the big screen with Nicolas Cage in the saddle. The film grossed $229.5 million against a $120 million budget, followed by a 2011 sequel, Spirit of Vengeance, which pulled in $149.2 million. While both projects made their money back, they stumbled hard with critics, landing low Rotten Tomatoes scores of 28% and 17%. The films left behind a complicated, unresolved legacy. On one hand, Cage's wild performances delivered iconic visuals and a campy energy that kept the character alive through streaming success and a dedicated cult following. On the other hand, the movies struggled with jarring tonal shifts and dated CGI, leaving audiences with a hero that felt permanently compromised. This is the heavy baggage Ryan Gosling inherits. For years, general audiences saw Johnny Blaze as a comic book caricature rather than a terrifying, tragic figure. His casting represents more than a standard cinematic reboot. It is a high-stakes repair job designed to strip away the camp, embrace the supernatural horror of a man who sold his soul to the devil, and finally deliver the serious adaptation of the Spirit of Vengeance that Hollywood has never quite solved. This casting announcement did not happen in isolation. At the very same July 2026 Hall H presentation, Kevin Feige laid out a roadmap that included introducing David Johnson as the new Black Panther, slated for December 2028. Standing alongside these massive reveals, Gosling's addition to the slate redefines the studio's casting approach. According to Marvel's official Comic-Con recap, the company is expanding its talent acquisition strategy, shifting away from standard superhero archetypes to recruit respected, award-winning actors for riskier, darker properties. By placing a performer of Gosling's caliber into the leather jacket of Johnny Blaze, the studio is betting that audiences will follow prestigious stars into stranger, supernatural territory. Feige is intentionally diversifying the franchise's traditional storytelling formula, prioritizing creative risk over established safety. This is a confident departure from their usual path. The studio is trusting that star power can lift cult favorite characters to mainstream dominance. The project has grown past one actor's personal dream. It begins Marvel's next creative era, expanding the boundaries of what a comic book movie can be. Yet the loudest debate is not about Hollywood deals, but whether the former romantic lead can make a flaming skull feel truly dangerous. Online forums are already heavily split. Skeptics still see the bright pastel energy of his recent hits, while defenders cite the cold, silent violence he brought to Drive. The ultimate test for Ryan Gosling will be shedding his modern charm to channel the raw, terrifying horror of the Spirit of Vengeance. Until the first footage drops, that question remains wide open. Subscribe to the channel for more movie breakdowns. As you know, this is a character I've wanted to play for a long time. Gosling willed this dream into reality. But the ultimate industry question remains. Can he make Ghost Rider genuinely frightening and definitive? Subscribe for more insider movie stories.